Hey, what's going on, everyone? Big welcome to another video. And in this video, I will be commentating on game 3 of the World Chess Championship match that was played today between Ian Nepomniachtchi, who had white, and Ding Liren, who had black. So, in this game, and unlike game 1, where he went 1 e4, Ian Nepomniachtchi went for 1 d4, the other main move, and not the move that traditionally has been his weapon throughout his career. He has played d4, of course. I mean, to reach that level, you need to mix it up sometimes, but his main move has been e4, so maybe a slight surprise for Ding Liren. However, I'm pretty sure that he did cover it in his preparation. Anyway, well, Ding Liren went for knight f6, c4, the main line, e6, and now knight c3. When they had this position with colors the other way around, Ding Liren had preferred for knight f3, which avoids the Nimzo-Indian, but allows black to play d5 and get into a different version of the Carlsbad structure that is considered less dangerous for black because the knight is on f3, so there are no f3, 4 ideas, just to name one reason. Another possible move here is g3 also, the Catalan. a3 is a move as well. Bishop f4 is a move that they've made popular recently. Anyway, I will just stick to what happened in the game. Knight c3 was happened, inviting the Nimzo-Indian, and probably Ian Nepomniachtchi had something prepared against the Nimzo-Indian. Here the main moves are queen c2, aiming to get the bishop pair without doubled pawns. It's also e3, and it's also f3, which was the choice of Anand against Carlsen in the World Championship match of 2013. Knight f3 is also possible, and many other moves as well. I just mentioned the most critical ones. So, knight c3 was played. d5, though, by Ding Liren, not the Nimzo-Indian. c5 is also possible, but I guess he didn't want to play the Benoni with a space disadvantage and all that. So d5 was played, a more, let's say, principled move, and c takes d5. Apart from that, I mean, they can also go knight f3, they can also go bishop g5, you name it. Well, c takes d5, though, was played, which is the move that defines the Carlsbad structure, and the Carlsbad structure is the structure that arises after the move that was played in the game, e takes d5. Now, was this the only option that black has in this position? The answer is no. There is the move knight takes d5. And if you're interested in learning more about the semi-Tarrasch, I would highly recommend to you to go on Chessable and look at the course that Dominguez made about it, where he explains this move, knight takes d5, which is an alternative. But Ding Liren played the more, let's say, principled, the normal way by taking back e takes d5. And bishop g5, the main move, pinning the knight and creating a threat of bishop takes f6, queen takes f6, knight takes d5, and winning a pawn. So c6 protects the pawn, and e3. The alternative to e3 in these positions is queen c2, which is designed to stop the move bishop f5. This is an alternative. After e3, bishop f5 is possible, and always in these positions, the biggest problem for black, the worst minor piece, if you're stuck in chess generally, in a position, then what I would advise to you is to identify which is your worst piece and to try to improve it. Well, here it's clear that the worst piece of black is the light square bishop, and the reason is that on e6 or d7 it doesn't do much. On g4 it can get hit by f3, for example, and if it comes to f5, there is a specific variation that challenges this, and it's queen f3. And here the best move is bishop g6, bishop takes, and now, since the pawns will double, black should exchange the queens, and we get this position that Nigel Short has played a few times with black, and you can have a look at his games. So this is a variation that was considered okay for black. However, the game between Carlsen and Kramnik proved the opposite, where white got a stunning win with some great preparation. White was Carlsen and black was Kramnik in that game. Feel free to check it out. So, instead of bishop f5, what did he play? He played h6, which attacks the bishop, and the normal move is bishop h4. Bishop e7 breaks the pin, develops a piece. Bishop d3 also develops a piece, and the bishop goes to its ideal square, because from d3 it's active and prepares to castle as well. And when black castles short, the bishop will be hitting towards the black king. Castles and queen c2. Okay, so the queen gets developed and rook e8. Now, in this type of positions, it's also possible for white to castle long sometimes, and black should be aware of that. However, this is not a particularly attractive variation exactly in this position to do so. So they start knight g2, and the reason they play the knight on e2 and not on f3 is very simple, because knight f3 stops the pawn from coming to f3. So knight g2, and one long-term plan for white is to go f3 if possible, and then e4. Take over the center, and after going e4, to push e5 as well, attack black and try to get a crashing attack against the black king. Knight bd7 develops another piece, and now castles short instead, which is, let's say, the more normal move. a5, and a5 is a move that's designed to stop white's plan of going rook b1 and b4, because this is another major plan, the minority attack. If you play this with either color, then definitely you should know about the minority attack. The minority attack involves basically white going rook b1, b4, and then b5, taking on c6, and then leaving black with a weak pawn on c6 that they would try to attack and win. a3 was played here quite quickly, and knight h5. This is a typical idea in this type of positions, which facilitates the exchange of the dark squared bishops. So bishop takes e7, queen takes e7. And here rook a e1 was played. Perhaps this move was linked with preparing the move f3 and e4. So knight f8, a maneuver by the knight, and the knight c1. Knight f6, bringing the knight back. Remember, guys, knights belong to the center of the board. They are much more powerful, and it's for a reason that they say the knight on the rim is dim. Now, of course, there are always exceptions to this kind of rules in chess. f3 was played, so the plan I've mentioned previously, and now knight e6, a very important move, which makes the plan not possible to be achieved, at least not right now, because after e4 there is a pawn hanging on d4. That's why the knight went to e6. This was the point of this maneuver, and instead the knight 1 to e2 was played to protect the pawn on d4. c5 though was played by black, which is a move that is double-edged. It weakens the b5 square, so the white bishop can go there, or the white knight from c3 can go there. Also, after taking on c5 and the black taking back, then the pawn on d5 will be an isolated pawn. So let's see what happened in the game. Bishop b5 was played, rook to d8, supporting that pawn on d5, and after d takes c5 and queen takes c5, now the pawn on d5 is isolated. However, there is some pressure against the pawn on e3 as well. Queen d2 was played by white to support the pawn on e3. Bishop d7, an exchange of bishops, takes back with the knight. Knight goes to d4, okay. Knight b6, they did not exchange. Okay, knight b6, and the point of knight b6 is to go knight c4, or at least threaten to do so. Rook d1, knight c4, it happened, hitting the queen and hitting the pawn on b2. Queen f2, okay. Rook goes from a to c8, activating the last piece that was not active. Knight a4, hitting the queen, queen back to e7, rook e1, supporting even more the pawn on e3, queen f6, and knight b5, knight c7, knight d4, knight d6, knight b5, knight c7, knight d4, and knight d6. So what happened was a draw by repetition. The two players repeated moves and the same position arised 3 times. I would like at this moment to give everyone an advice that in order to become a good chess player and achieve your goals, whatever they are, apart from studying in order to improve, you should also study the rules. It's very important. You will not become a strong player if you don't know the rules. And you need to know, for example, how to claim a draw by threefold repetition, how to claim a draw because of 50 moves. This is very important as well. Something that not everyone talks about. And the rules of this match, they said that the two players cannot offer a draw before move 40, and now we are on move 30. And you might be wondering, how can the game end in a draw? Well, offering a draw is one thing, and a draw arising because of threefold repetition or being claimed because of threefold repetition is another thing. So there are many ways that the game can end in a draw, apart from just the two players agreeing a draw. Also, there is threefold repetition. There is 50 moves without any capture and without the pawn moving. There is, as long as it's claimed, of course, because it's one thing to repeat the position 3 times, it's another thing to claim it, and 50 moves the same. Also, stalemate can be a way for having a draw. Insufficient material can be a way for a draw. There are many ways that a draw can happen, but the most popular one at this level, if they cannot offer a draw before move 40, is a threefold repetition. And this is what happened. Anyway, so Ian Nepomniachtchi is in the lead still by 1 win. They have 2 points and Ding Liren has 1 point. However, tomorrow Ding Liren will have the white pieces, and I'm personally really looking forward to this game to see if they can put some pressure on their opponent. It's a very important game for the entire match, and I will keep my eyes peeled. I hope that you enjoyed the video, you took value from it, you learned something new. If you enjoyed it, I would really appreciate if you can like the video and subscribe to my channel. I will be hopefully making a new video tomorrow, now that my laptop is fixed, about the game tomorrow. Yeah, so if you're a subscriber, I will catch you at the next video. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate you for taking the time to watch my video and for staying until the end. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.